In this video, we're going to start working on fractions. Most students hate fractions because of the way they're taught. But in this lesson, you'll finally understand adding and subtracting fractions the right way. We have some core ideas that will make subtracting and adding fractions very easy. So the first one is, if the denominators are the same, then you can add or subtract the numerators. What does this mean? If you have a simple fraction like 2 over 3 plus 4 over 3, the 2 is the numerator and the 3 is the denominator. Now, you see that this denominator and that denominator are the same. So they do have the same denominators. This means we can add or subtract the numerators. And in this case, 2 and 4 are numerators. So this would give us 4 plus 2 is 6, so 6 over 3. This is what they mean by same denominators. You can add or subtract the numerators. And the second core idea is, if the denominators are different, then we have to find the lowest common denominator. Now, what is the lowest common denominator? Well, your lowest common denominator is basically a number that the two denominators can both be divided by, or the two denominators can go into. So a quick example is 2 over 3 plus 4 over 4. You see that the denominators are different. So in this case, we would have to find the lowest common denominator. And what is the lowest common denominator? It's just a number that 3 can go into without leaving any remainder, and 4 can go into without leaving any remainder. So 3 and 4, I think 12, right? We can use 12. 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 4 goes into 12 3 times. So here would say 3 into 12 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 4 into 12 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. This would give us 20 over 12. This is just a very quick example, but we will go in depth in a few minutes. Okay, so here's some examples we can work on. First example is 2 over 7 plus 3 over 7. Well, we do see that they have the same denominator, so we can add the numerators. So this is just 3 plus 2 is 5, so our answer is 5 over 7. Here's the second example, 8 over 9 minus 5 over 9. Again, the denominators are the same, so we can subtract the numerators. So this is equal to 8 minus 5 is 3, so that's just 3 over 9. Now we're going to work on examples where we have to find the lowest common denominator. And again, we only use this when the denominators are not the same. So we do have some steps that will make it easier for you to find the lowest common denominator, and this way you won't forget easily. So from these steps, the first thing we have to do is find the lowest common denominator. So find a number that the two denominators can go into without leaving a remainder. And secondly, convert the fractions. So instead of having fractions with different denominators, we're going to change the denominators based off the one we pick and make them the same. And after that, we can add or subtract the numerators. And finally, we simplify it if it's not in its simplest terms. So let's work on some examples. The first example is 1 over 4 plus 1 over 6. We do see that the denominators are not the same. So we have to use the lowest common denominator method. I will just bring up the steps so that it's easier for us to work. So first things first, we have to find the lowest common denominator. Okay, so what's the lowest common denominator for 4 and 6? Well, lowest common denominator for both of them would be 12. Why? Because 4 goes into 12 3 times and 6 goes into 12 2 times. So both 4 and 6 go into 12 without leaving a remainder. Now, how will we write it? You're going to solve it in this way. 1 over 4 plus 1 over 6. And then you put a line at the bottom and put your lowest common denominator, which is 12. Now, we will say 4 into 12, or 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 multiplied by 1 would be 3. So let's do that. 4 into 12, or 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 1 is just 3. Drop the plus sign. 6 into 12, well, 12 divided by 6 is 2, right? 2 times 1 is just 2. Now we've converted these fractions from different denominators to 3 over 12 plus 2 over 12. So now we can add or subtract. In this case, we're adding. So it's 3 plus 2, that's 5 over 12. This is your answer. We can simplify it, but in this case, this is the simplest form. So that's our answer. Let's work on another example. Here's example 2. 5 over 8 minus 1 over 12. We do notice that 8 and 12 are not the same. So these two fractions have different denominators. Now we have to use the lowest common denominator method because the denominators are not the same. So what is the lowest common denominator between the two? What number can 8 go into without leaving a remainder and 12 go into without leaving a remainder? Well, 24. 8 goes into 24 3 times, 12 goes into 24 twice. This is how we're going to solve it. 5 over 8 minus 1 over 12. We'll put a line at the bottom and put our lowest common denominator there. 24 divided by 8 is 3. 3 times 5. So 24 divided by 8 is 3. And 3 times the numerator is 15. Drop the minus sign. 24 divided by 12 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Now we can subtract or add, and in this case we're subtracting it. Both of these fractions are now in terms of 24. The denominator is 24, so we're good. Now we can do our addition or subtraction. So 15 minus 2 is 13. So our answer is 13 over 24. We can simplify it, but in this case, this is the simplest it can go. You cannot simplify it any further, so that's our answer. Here's the third example. 11 over 15 plus 7 over 18. Now, what is the lowest common denominator for these two? Clearly, we can see that the denominators are different, so we need to use the lowest common denominator method. So our LCD is 90. Why? Because 15 can go into 96 times and 18 can go into 95 times. So this is how we're going to solve it. 11 over 15 plus 7 over 18. And our lowest common denominator is 90. So 90 divided by 15 is 6. So put 6 there. 6 multiplied by 11 is 66. Drop a plus sign. 90 divided by 18 is 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Now we can add them up and we get 66 plus 35 would give us 101 divided by 90. Now, in this case, you can see that this is an improper fraction. What is an improper fraction? This is when your numerator is bigger than your denominator. Now, we can go from an improper fraction to a mixed fraction. A mixed fraction has a whole number and fraction. So how do we go from improper to mixed? Well, let's divide it. How many times does 90 go into 101? Goes one time. And what's the remainder? 11, right? So the remainder would be 101 minus 90 is 11. So it'll be 11 divided by your same denominator, 90. And that would be your answer. So here's the fourth example, and this time we have a negative fraction. So negative 5 over 12 plus 7 over 18. We do see that we have different denominators, so we need to use the lowest common denominator method. What is the lowest common denominator for these two fractions? Well, it's 36. Why? Because 12 can go into 36 3 times, and 18 can go into 36 twice. Now let's solve it. So it's minus 5 over 12 plus 7 over 18. And right at the bottom, put our line with our lowest common denominator. 36 divided by 12 is 3. 3 times negative 5. is negative 15. Drop the plus sign. 36 divided by 18 is 2. 2 times 7 is 14. Now we have all the fractions converted to the same denominator, so we can add or subtract. In this case, it's minus 15 plus 14. So that's negative 1 over 36. And that is your answer. Here's a word problem. So the recipe needs 3 over 4 cups of sugar, but you already added 5 over 12 cups. How much more do you need to add? So let's take the data we need from this problem. What are the numbers we're working with? We need 3 over 4, but then we already added 5 over 12. So how much more should we add? So it's 3 over 4 minus 5 over 12. You see, the denominators are different. So we need to find the lowest common denominator. In this case, the lowest common denominator is 12. Why? Because 4 goes into 12 3 times and 12 goes into 12 once. So let's solve this. 3 over 4 minus 5 over 12. The lowest common denominator there. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Drop the minus sign. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. Now, what's 9 minus 5? It's 4. So it's 4 over 12. We can leave it like this, but then we know that 4 can go into 12. So divide everything by 4 here. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4 divided by 12 is 3. So that's your answer. If you found this helpful, make sure you hit subscribe and join our school community for more lessons, practice, and support. The link is in the description below. See you inside.